If I had to start my hair business again with 3 kids, having a 9 to 5 job, and the £0 that I started with, there are 7 things that I would do completely differently. These 7 things, I know that they matter because I have lived the cost of getting them wrong. I built Olok's hair from scratch in 2023 while working full-time as a program manager. I left that job in 2024 to go fully into my hair business. I've also been given great opportunity to mentor quite a lot of women. And the reason why I'm saying this is not just to praise myself, it's to make sure that you listen to me, because every single thing I'm going to share, I have been through it. My mentees have been through it, and I don't want you to go through the same. Let's get into it. When I started my hair business in 2023, the focus was actually to improve my skills. So improve the way that I style my wigs, improve the way that I color my wigs, just to make sure that the wigs look good. And this was one of the biggest mistakes ever. And if I'm being honest, I know that a lot of women that are watching me right now, you're actually doing the same thing. Focusing on working on your skill should not be the only thing that you're focusing on. It's important to focus on your skill because guess what? This is what people would see. What I didn't know then was that it wasn't just my skill that will actually make me money. What will make me money is a business strategy. Styling a wig, layering a wig, coloring a wig the right way will sell my wigs, and that's not true. Because you can make the most beautiful wigs and they will just end up on your shelf with nobody buying it because you don't understand the business strategy. And once I was able to understand that, that literally transformed my entire business. The business strategy can be things like understanding content creation, understanding pricing, which was a major killer for my business in the beginning, understanding my buyer, understanding how to attract the buyer, understanding the kind of colored wigs I need to create for the kind of buyer that I have. So all of these things work in hand, and I will actually say that 40% should be your skill strategy and 60% should be your business strategy. This is why you see some people, they don't have the best wigs, they don't have the best quality of hair, but they're selling consistently because they understand the business strategy of things. Obviously, this would have an effect now or later, but I'm just trying to explain to you how just understanding the business strategy of things can really help you grow your hair business. The next one is I was making decision for my buyer on behalf of me. Does that even make sense? But let me explain. I started a hair business and then I said, I'm not going to wear anybody's wigs. Nobody's going to wear the wigs and just come and do like a try on and all of that. If I create a wig for one person, that wig will be worn by that person. Not me, not any member of my staff, not even for content creation. That was the decision I made. And the reason I made this decision was because I genuinely do not like wearing other people's wigs. You can't catch me wear a wig that isn't mine. So I felt like because I don't like it, this should be implemented in my business. Obviously, it does make sense now because it flows in my business. It's doing well. It's something that is part of my value. However, in the beginning of my business, it was actually a struggle because I couldn't create content, and I've already created content saying all of this, that I'm not going to wear the wig for content creation. So when it's time to showcase some of the colors that I created, showcase some of the things that I did, I just couldn't do it. And that was a big dent in my business, especially in the beginning. So if you're so new to a business, it's important that don't just make a decision for your business because of something that you think works best. Think about your buyer, think about the business as well to make sure that this will fully align and this will not affect you in any way. And honestly, just understanding your buyer alone, understanding what your buyer likes, understanding what they don't like, makes all of this decision easier. This was one thing that we spoke about in Ori's hair room, where we just broke down what know your buyer is. All of my members, they shared who they think their buyer is. I went in there to review their buyer, just make sure that it aligns with their business. And honestly, just knowing your buyer changes everything. If you want to join the Ori's hair room, you can check the link in the description. If it's open, then you can join. If not, it means that it's closed for the month. You can just go in there, go onto the wait list so that you get notified once it reopens. Now let's go on to the third one. The third one is fully understanding your customer, which is kind of like know your buyer, but I'm going to break it down a bit further. So when I started, I just went on YouTube, I went on things, and I was just listening to people talk about, oh, know your demographics. Just know, but make sure you understand your demographics. And I was like, okay, I'm going to understand my demographics. So I want to sell worldwide. I want to have to work in this place. I want my age to be this. I actually wrote it down and I was ready. I thought I knew it all. But the problem was I didn't actually understand the psychographics of this. So there is demographic and there is a psychographic. When it comes to your demographics, that's about 20%. Your psychographics is about 80%. So your psychographics is really important. Your psychographics is something like, okay, let's talk about your demographic first. So this is like the age, agenda, like where she works, the amount of salary she gets, the location, all of that stuff, right? And you would think that's all you need, but that's not all you need. The most important stuff is understanding a psychographic. So what is she afraid of? What keeps her up at night? What will make her feel like the version of herself? What will make her feel happy? What will she enjoy the most? Let me give you a real example. Let's call call her Jane. Jane is a 40-year-old woman. She lives in the UK. She's married with 2 kids. She works a 9 to 5. She actually works as a financial accountant. She earns about 50 to 70K in the UK. On all of those details I just listed out, it's basically a demographic. Now, if you need to understand a psychographic, she's tired. She loves her kids. She loves Saturday because Saturday is like a break time for her. She has a limit on how much she can spend on a wig because she doesn't understand the whole hype when it comes to raw hair. What she strives for is to look like the woman she was before she had kids. She loves Instagram, and most of her Saturdays is just multitasking around the house as well as being on Instagram. When I started my hair business, I was just focusing on the demographics. I didn't even understand what the psychographic was. I didn't even know if she had emotions. All my focus was just, okay, I'm going to make sure that I ship worldwide so she knows that I ship worldwide wherever she is. I'm just going to make sure that the pricing fits into the career that she has. That was basically what I was focused on. But once I started creating content and writing my captions based on a psychographic, everything changed. Sales was consistent. I didn't have the wrong audience coming to me and saying that your wig is too expensive. I was targeting the right woman because I was speaking to the right woman. The next lesson is I would actually separate my money from day one. This one was messed up, honestly. I didn't really understand how drastic this was. And recently, I think about 7 or 8 months ago, that's when it actually clicked that I've been doing this wrong the whole time. When I started my hair business, every single pound that I made came into my one business account. Just one account. As soon as I sell, boom, it comes into that one account. At the end of it all, I never used to understand why I didn't have a good balance. I was always confused. But what I didn't realize was that because I wasn't tracking my sales properly and because I was having all of those money come into one account, I thought I had more money than I did. So I was just ordering more stock, ordering fancy items for my customers, which was good, but it wasn't practical because I didn't have that money. And then when I spoke to my financial advisor, and that's when my financial advisor, she's not a financial advisor, she was my accountant actually. And then she said to me, why is all your money going into one account? And I was like, what, is that not what you should be doing? She was like, no, you need to separate this money and make sure that you separate your revenue from your profit. And since I have been doing that, that has literally changed my business. Now I know the profit that I have for my business, and I also know the revenue, so that if I need to invest into my business, I'm only touching the revenue and not the profit. Now raise your hand in the comment. I just want you to raise your hand like this if your money is still in your personal account. If you still get paid in your personal account for your business and you're not separating it, let me know in the comment, because it can't just be me. We have to be in this together. The next one is I will not mix 2 product lines together because it's going to confuse me and confuse my customer. So when I started this hair business, I started as raw hair, and I noticed that I was getting a lot of messages saying, oh, your hair is too expensive. I would have bought your hair if it was cheaper. I would have done this if it was cheaper. And I thought to myself, okay, let me just infuse raw hair and virgin hair together in my business so that I can target people. I can target someone that cannot afford raw hair, someone that can only afford virgin hair. You would think that is logical, right? Since you're covering everybody, but it's not, especially in the beginning. In the beginning, you should focus on one thing, be way good at it. I thought I focused on one thing. I did it. I think it was like 6 months later, I made the change. But I would say that was too short as well. Coming now from me with my experience and everything, I would say at least a year. Do this for a year. Let people know you for the virgin hair. Then you can go in to add another origin. I wouldn't even advise to do it at all. I feel like just having one and sticking with it is better for business, because then, number one, you're better at it. Number two, your customers kind of know that this is what you sell. Word of mouth travels, that this is exactly what you sell, and then you can grow your brand from there. I know it's hard, especially in the beginning when you feel like I should be making more money, or people are just asking this question. Let them ask. Most times when people ask questions like this, it means that you're not actually targeting the right audience, and it means that you need to work on knowing your buyer properly, so that when you create content, you're creating content on targeting the exact audience that you need to target that can actually buy the hair that you're selling. Okay, we're getting there. Let's move on to the next lesson. What I will do is I will pick one platform and I'll build it first before moving on to the next. I did this after, but initially, your girl was so overwhelmed. I was so overwhelmed with just creating content for this platform, that platform, on YouTube, on Instagram, on Pinterest, on TikTok, because I felt like if I widen myself, people will see me more, and that's not true. And what happened after that? I had extreme burnout that I didn't even post on all of those platforms. I couldn't do YouTube anymore. I couldn't do Instagram. I couldn't do TikTok. I was just hiding under the blanket. Like, go away from me. I do not like to create content, but I did. This was because I was overwhelming myself with doing too much. But when I I realized this, I stopped everything and then I focused on one platform, which was TikTok. I grew it. I was more than happy. Then I moved to a different platform. Let's talk about lesson 7. When it comes to hair business, right? It takes a while for it to grow and for you to see consistent income stay in your bank account. For year 1, you're kind of reinvesting back into your business to make sure that you have enough stock for your customers to buy from. The problem here is if you are spending more than you have in your bank account, you can never grow your business. I didn't have to do this because I had my 9 to 5, and I think this is why it's important not to actually leave your 9 to 5 until you know that you have enough money as a backup. When you leave your 9 to 5 too quickly, you tend to rely so much on the income for your business, which means that you won't really have enough savings to actually reinvest back into the business. You can't leave your 9 to 5, but the main issue is just have enough savings and enough backup to spend before you leave your 9 to 5. And if you're still in your 9 to 5, just make sure that you don't touch the business money. Let it grow. Keep reinvesting into the business for at least 6 months. Honestly, once you keep doing that, you will notice that you're having enough products to push and sell to the market. All of the things I've just shared right now is what we do in Ori's Hair Room. We go deep in Ori's Hair Room, where I share with you content creation strategy, having a Q&A for content. We're actually starting a challenge soon, a 30-day challenge on how to create content that goes viral. All of this stuff we do as a group in Ori's Hair Room. So if that's something that you're looking to join, check the link in the description. If it's open, you can join. If not, it means that we're closed for the month, but don't worry, just go onto the waiting list so that you get notified once we reopen. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, my name is Oris, and all we talk about here is hair business. If that's something you're really interested in, so you can subscribe to join the family, and I'll see you in the next one.